Hello everyone, my name's Alan from Technology Moments. Thank you for watching our videos, and today another smart device, in this case dedicated to security, where we're gonna be sharing with you the experience that we had with this smart lock, which supports fingerprints, lock codes, app, local activation, RF cards, physical traditional key, and is powered by AAA batteries, so we'll also be discussing that and sharing with you what we've experienced so far. You'll see this video organized in these chapters so that you can quickly get to the topic that interests you most, but we strongly recommend you that you take a few minutes and watch it all. First of all, we're going to be discussing how secure are these locks. The first aspect that we always consider when choosing a smart lock is a question that we tend to overthink how secure it is. If you want top security, you may need to address many other issues like windows, remote garage openers, and many more factors, as we can see in many videos online. Where also, just a simple aspect as where we leave the keys is very important too. Is this or this other device hack-free? First we need to ask, is any traditional lock unbeatable? The truth might actually be disturbing. Just as with most information systems, every one of them may have flaws and security issues that need to be addressed. Any traditional lock can be brute force attacked, and so can most doors. With that in mind, most of the devices out there will provide you with the security that you need, and most of the security is gained thanks to good practices like keeping the key safe, additional security devices to your home as we've seen in our channel, using a combination of locks, and much more. This particular model that we are testing today would be the open and close lock that we would like to use every day until at night, or when leaving the house, you may decide to enforce security by activating an additional lock. Okay, now let's get into how smart do you want it. I wasn't sure if I was ready to have an Alexa-enabled device to open my door or close it, when it still has trouble recognizing my voice for shopping, even more when it connects to the Wi-Fi and it is a wider signal, high-risk environment, and it goes through the air, so it is hackable, connects to the internet, even more. So I went for this model, which has Bluetooth access through the app. You can use RF cards, which, as many of you may have heard, have many security issues, so I intend not to use them nor have them active. Fingerprint, personal PIN, and of course a backup traditional key lock. Are any of these hack-proof? I don't think so, just as any other lock you can find for your home. Now let's get into what's in the box. This specific model features a normal door lock. You might want to have it paired with a deadbolt, either smart lock or traditional lock. Normally, just as with any other lock, the inside unit doesn't lock and always engages the opening mechanism. In this case is where the batteries are located, hence the small cable. The outside unit features the lock and the squared rod that is engaged and disengaged from an internal assisted electric mechanism. Also, as with most smart locks, they can be installed in right and left hand doors. Very practical. As for accessories, you'll receive, and this is very normal too, the keys, the cylindrical lock, which is very specific to this model, RF cards, the screws, and the hex key to secure the handles for each side installation. Now let's go into that. Installation. My advice in terms of installing a smart lock is first configure, use it and feel it, and then go for the physical installation. I left it over my desktop for a couple weeks, and every so often I used it as if I was going to enter my home. I installed the handles, understood the mechanism, installed the batteries, connected the in and outside unit, and started its configuration. And here's my first advice. You can set it up using commands and key codes, or you can use the app and pair it using Bluetooth. In my opinion, by far, it is better to use the app. If you already enrolled fingerprints or pins, I would start over, as it is the only way the app will find it through Bluetooth. My second advice is don't lose the instructions and take pictures of the user's manual, as there are key codes for each task. Even resetting the unit to default requires a PIN. After that, everything is very intuitive. If you decide not to use the app, which is okay, the first user is an administrator of the unit. It is very quick, and so is adding any other user, whether for fingerprint access or PIN code access, which can be, by the way, of up to 12 digits. Cards work exactly the same, and the physical key that is included just activates the engaging mechanism manually instead of using any other of the authentication methods. I do not see any heavy electric mechanism, so my feeling is batteries will last some time. Also, for you to know, there is a backup battery connector that will let you use, for example, a power bank to access in case that you didn't bring the key with you. which by the way is the point of any smart lock. Only after you have tested and used over the desktop your new lock, again this is just my advice if you're new to this smart biometric smart devices, you can go then for a physical installation, and you will find that if you had a similar lock, such installation will take just a few minutes. The good thing about this process is that you will already know how to use it, all the features, advantages and disadvantages if there are any. In this case and this type of locks, be particularly careful with the security pin, which once you close the door must remain pressed, as it is the only one that will prevent your door from being easily opened from the outside, as you can see right here. Now, here you have the lock, and it has worked great. Regarding the app, that by the way you can very quickly set up in really a matter of minutes, and this varies from one brand to another one, we liked it very much. It is very simple to use, you just have to follow on-screen instructions, assign administrators, set up other users, play with it, and also play around with the unit. Like we said, it would be ideal if you do it first on top of your desktop and then install it in a real-life environment. Only that way you will understand the true power of smart locks. You can add users in no time, assign cards, change access, deny access, generate a visitor's one-time access code, or even limit it by date. This is particularly useful if you own several properties and you need to grant access to visitors, either for a rental house or for example an Airbnb. Important note here is that if you want this lock to have access to the internet, so you can also configure it remotely, you will need to have an additional device called the gateway. This way you can be at a very different location and still be able to configure your lock, grant permissions, assign new codes. All you need is to guarantee internet access to the gateway. The possibilities with the app would take a whole different video, and for sure there may be many. Our objective today was to guide you in the decision-making process if you're looking to buy a lock as this one and you need to make an informed decision. Before we finish this video, a final advice that we give everybody in the decision-making process of buying a smart lock is as important as any other aspect to consider when choosing a smart lock, and is of course go for a well-known brand, as there are literally hundreds of brands and most of the ones that you see today are not gonna be around in a couple years. So just keep in mind if you're gonna be buying more smart locks and want to keep management centralized. So again, thanks for watching this video. I hope it was of great help if you're in the decision-making process of buying a smart lock, and see you next time.